What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Vanessa Contreras from So Nessasary, and today I am joined by a man of many talents, artist, songwriter, producer. When it comes to music, this man does it all. What's going on, HenCity?
What's going on with you? Thank you for having me.
Of course, who better to interview on a day like this? Talk about some music, get some feels and some vibes. And I know that, speaking of vibes, fill me in on what you're working on, because I know you're working on some pretty cool vibes, so let's talk about it.
It's crazy. I just dropped 2 singles last week, Vibes being one of them, the other one Feeling It, so that was a nice little segue.
See what I did there?
Yeah, your boys have been working. I've been in the lab, I've been creating, writing, producing, and having fun.
Talk to me about the feels with the new tracks that you just dropped, which I absolutely love, but I'm a little biased. But knowing that it's so organic, like what was some of the inspiration? Because this new music right now, and we'll get into where you can find this new music, but this new music is absolute fire. It's what summer 2020, even though it's a different kind of summertime, it's exactly the feels and the vibes that we need. So I'm feeling that energy. I know you're getting a lot of love on the new music, on that energy. How did you even create these tracks? Take me there. Like, what inspired Feeling It? What inspired Vibes? And then I want you to just tell us about this EP you're working on, because you got us hyped with 2 tracks. So we're gonna need more.
Yeah, okay, damn. Loving the energy, by the way. So great.
It's so necessary.
So basically with Feeling It and with Vibes, it actually, those 2 tracks kind of, I guess they were the starting point of the new music that I've been creating and this new sound. I wasn't even like in the mood to record that day. I think I had no voice. I think I had like one of those henny nights when you wake up and you ain't got no voice the next day. So my voice is mad raspy. You know what I mean? And I'm in the studio. I'm with Ki, my little bro, and I'm with Tank. Shout out to them, the guys. We're in the studio and he's playing some beats for me. And I'm just bopping. I'm like, you know, when you hear some shit, it's just like, oh shit. And I jokingly, like sarcastically start rapping like on my shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm fucking feeling it. And it was kind of like, it's funny because with Feeling It, I was kind of being like sarcastic and there was my ignorant ratchet side. But then that's like really half of who I am. So something that started out with me just fucking around ended up being like the shit. And I was like really feeling it. And I was talking my shit, which I say in the record. So Vibes is a little different. It was the same night that I started that record. Again, I had no voice. I'm just in the booth flowing, you know, putting melodies down or whatever so I wouldn't forget. And then when I came back and I actually started writing to the record, I was like super lit, you know what I mean? And it was just a wave that I was on, and I just felt great that day, and I just really wanted to share some positive energy with all the wild things going on in the world. So, you know, that's why I put Vibes out. So that's how I came up with those 2 records, and from there I just kept going. Really just started coming to the studio every day. Obviously the pandemic and the quarantine was rough times for everyone in the world. I decided to take the time and use it constructively, you know, and just really just work on my sound. It was something that we were planning, which, you know, there's nothing we could do about it, so I decided to just fucking work. And,
How did you even get started in music? How did you know, like, this is my thing, this is what I want to do, this is where my heart and my soul is at? How did you get started with music?
Honestly, I feel like ever since I was a baby, I know everyone kind of like says that, but like my mom tells me all the time that, you know, my little hyper ass, the only way she was able to kind of keep me calm was by putting these huge like headphones on my head and me listening to music, or anytime Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley would come on the TV, you know, I would just go nuts. So music's kind of like always been my therapy.
You're a Jersey boy.
Born and raised.
Jersey City.
Yes.
Dominican parents. Very traditional, that love you oh so much and made you the man you are today.
Absolutely.
That had to be all influences and all a part of who HenCity is today. So tell me a little bit, or tell us a little bit more about Jersey City boy, HenCity, you growing up.
I mean, yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. You know, born in Jersey City, technically born in Hoboken, but you know, went right to Jersey City, raised there. Very family oriented. talented, raised by my grandmother, uncles, you know, my cousins, and you know, I think that atmosphere, us being in the urban area, you know, Jersey City, it's known as the sixth borough. You know, it's so close to Manhattan, it's so close to the city. So that hip hop influence, that culture, you know, that was definitely a heavy influence in my life growing up. And yeah, my parents, you know, they were young parents. They were people who loved to party, loved to dance, hardworking people, immigrants, first generation, you know. And it's definitely a big part of my story. You know, that's where I got the name HenCity. You know, I used to rock with my man Wanchi, shout him out. He gave me that name. We used to hang out all the time, hustling, chilling, and freestyling. And you know, he used to think I was really dope. Like even back when I was just making beats and I really started out wanting to do music full time.
Is that your first fan?
That was my first fan.
That was HenCity's first. That was HenCity's first fan.
So he
I
blessed me
should
with
say.
the name HenCity, and it's kind of like the story of my life. You know, living in Jersey City, we kind of live in the shadow, always staring at the New York City skyline, and just really, you know, wanting to make your dreams happen. You know, I always had that hustle mentality. Like, I guess I really got that from my parents. Imagine coming from DR, not knowing the language, not knowing the culture, coming to New York City at the time. You know, in the '80s when crack was popping. You know, when crime was crazy.
Popping.
Yeah, so you know, it definitely influences you the way you come up. But I'm grateful for everything that I've experienced growing up, good and bad. Because it made me the person I am today, and they gave me this cool story to tell, which I'm gonna start sharing with the world.
You're already teasing me and everyone else with just these 2 tracks. I know you're working on so much fire. Tell me a little bit of what to expect, what's coming up.
So the next single that I'm going to be releasing is called Living Life, and as you know, I just shot a video for it last month. Shout out to my man Nimi Hendrix. He was out in Miami with the gang, and it's going to be a dope little movie. You know, it's my first video as a solo artist, and the song basically is literally what the title said, Living Life. You know, I just wanted to have a good time. I wanted to show a good time. I want people to really just kind of let go of the stress and all the crazy energy that 2020 has been, you know, in all our lives, and just wanted to show how blessed we are and just having good times, having fun. That's what the record's about. It's a fun record.
I love everything we've been talking about. It's things that I very much identify with. I love everything that's keeping it real and keeping it you, because like I always say, that's so necessary. It's part of me and my brand. And along the way, you've learned different things, you've heard different things. What's the best advice that you've been given?
Well, that's a good question. The best advice I've been given is you can't dance at every party.
Why not?
Because everything's not for everybody.
Love. Tell the squad where we can find you, what's up and coming.
Yes, you can subscribe to my YouTube, which is HenCity, HenCity, just like it sounds. Also, you can hit me up on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, again, HenCity, just like I spelled it before. You can check out my music. I'm going to be putting the videos, all my content up on the YouTube, and all the major platforms. You can check out the singles that are out right now, Vibes and Feeling It, and Living Life is on the way with a brand new video.
HenCity, thank you so much. I think not only myself got to know HenCity as an artist, but the people got to know HenCity as an artist. And we're going to be looking out for all that you got to offer. And you just keep it real 100, which is what I love. If there's anything that we're learning from these times, is that whatever you love, just go out there and do it. Don't think twice about it.
Yes.
And when you go and do it, make sure that you keep it real and you keep it you, because that's so necessary.
Feeling it, all of my niggas the realest yet. Getting the bag like really quick. I give a fuck if your man is sick. I'm feeling it. My niggas is hungry.